So let's take a look at 8.3 exponential functions. And in this section, we're going to be defining an exponential function. We're going to be looking at using a calculator to approximate an exponential expression. We're going to look at graphs of these functions and also some applications. So we will start here with the definition. And so let's fill in the blank here. It says let's first, we're going to write what an exponential function looks like. So it looks like this. Y is equal to b raised to the x power, where b is our base. So the b is going to be a real number, and it will be a number that is greater than 0, but not equal to 1. So we have some rules for b. And it says, and so an exponential function will have the exponent will be an x, the variable. And so it says it's in the form, remember we can, if we want to put it in function notation, that's f of x, or you can write y. F of x equals b of x is called an exponential function. So that's our definition. So this just adds to the different types of functions that we've talked about. Linear functions look like this. So a linear function has this form, or again, you could say y equals mx plus b. And the highest exponent on the x is 1. When you graph them, they're a straight line, either going up or down. We've also seen quadratic functions. A quadratic function looks like this. And when you graph them, they have this U-shaped parabola. So we're just adding to the types of functions. And in order to recognize a quadratic function, you see the highest exponent of 2. And for an exponential function, you're going to see the variable is in the exponent. So let's go back to our sheet of notes here. And so we have some examples. Here are some examples. These are all exponential functions. And you'll notice what they have in common is my variable is in the exponent. It's that superscript to the right. And if I need to approximate a exponential expression, I can use a calculator to do that. So let me show you on the calculator where you will find the button to create an exponent. So here is our calculator, and we could say 3, and then we'll caret symbol the square root of 2. So this caret symbol here will allow you to type in an exponent, and whether you have this calculator or a different calculator, you should be able to find a caret symbol on there. And some calculators, so here is my answer. I'll write it on the screen here. Some calculators have a button that looks like this, which is what you see on that one. Some calculators have a button that looks like this, and they say x to the y power, and some calculators have a button that looks like this. So all of these will allow you to create the exponent. So the value, it says here to round to 4 decimal places. So this one was this. So pause the video here and try the next two, and then we'll go through the answers. So here's another type of calculator that you may use. And so there on this calculator, you'll see the caret symbol there. And so to do the next one, I would put in 4 to the negative 5 power. So 4 and then the caret symbol. And then you don't want to hit the minus key, but you want to hit negative 5. When I hit enter, I get this value. Now, in order to round this to 4 decimal places, when I go here, this is the 4th decimal place. So next to it is a 7. And because that's 5 or more, I have to round this number up from 9 to 10. And that will change the digit in the next column. For the next one, the square root of 5 to the 6th power. So we're going to put in the square root symbol of 5, and then I'm going to right arrow over to finish that square root, and then caret symbol, and I'll put the square root of 6. And then again, right arrow over to tell the calculator you're done entering under the radical sign. And here I get my answer. So that's how you do it on the calculator. Make sure that you take a look at how you would round this one. Now let's go through the graphs of the exponential functions. So here is what the exponential function looks like. There's two possibilities. Either it has a slow growth and then rapid incline, or it has a rapid fall and then it slows down. And this happens if the base is greater than 1. So if the base is greater than 1, then it's increasing. It's increasing because the line is going upward from left to right. If the base is between 0 and 1, then it's called a decreasing exponential function. And the line goes from, it starts from high, and then from left to right, it starts to go down. Now, when it's increasing, it's called the growth function, exponential growth, and when it's decreasing, it's called exponential decay. The domain here is going to be the set of all real numbers. Written in interval notation, it would be negative infinity to infinity. I can put any value in for x and I will get an output. So my domain is all real numbers. There's no holes here. There's no, it doesn't go past a certain point. So everything can be put in for x. For the range, this time I look for the y values. And when I look at the y values here, I don't see anything past. So you're going to look at the y-axis. Look at the y-axis. And I don't see anything that goes past the 0. I don't see anything that goes below 0. So the lowest y value approaches 0. It doesn't touch. And then this continues on this way infinitely. So we don't see anything in these quadrants down here. So we're going to say the range is from 0 to positive infinity for both of these. Now it looks like it touches 0, but it doesn't. So that's why you see me write the parenthesis here and not a bracket. So this is positive. What that symbolism means in interval notation means positive real numbers. The line, or the y, the x-axis, the line, which is the x-axis, is called a horizontal asymptote. The line y equals 0 is a horizontal asymptote for an exponential function. And you're going to notice that both of these functions pass through the point 0, 1. And the reason why is because whenever you put in 0 as the exponent, anything raised to the 0 power, any base raised to 0 power is 1. So it's always going to pass through the point 0, 1. So we have some functions below, and it says to graph these functions. And it asks us to plot at least 3 points for each graph. So when you go to graph these types of functions, you want to pick some points, I would suggest, around the origin. So the origin is here, and I would suggest first starting with these 5 x values. Now, like it said, you have to do at least 3. I'm going to do 5 just to help me draw the graph. So I'm going to start with -2. And so that means that I evaluate the function at -2 and I put in -2 for x. So when I put in -2 for x, I'll get 3 to the -1st power, which a negative exponent goes into the denominator and becomes positive. So this will be 1/3. To put it on the graph, let's put in decimals, it would be 0.3. If I plugged in -1 here, if I plug in -1, I'll get -1 plus 1, that's 0. Anything raised to the 0 power would be 1. Next, plugging in 0, I get 0 plus 1, that's 1, so I get 3 here. And then the next ones, I'll get 3 squared, and this one I will get 3 cubed, which would be 27. So plotting the points here, I will end up with this type of look. The 1, 9 is off the graph, but I get the idea. It's this type of curve. Now pause the video and try this one. Now, we notice here the difference. This has a base of 3, so it's going to be increasing, meaning it is exponential growth. The one to the right here, B, this one has a base that is between 0 and 1. And so when you have a base between 0 and 1, it will be a decreasing exponential function, and this will represent decay. So let's try plotting some points here. I'm going to give you the points that you should choose, and we'll start around the origin, and if we need to, we can switch these points. So try putting in those points and see what you get. So I'll pause for a minute. So I put in the x value in here, and I ended up with this one. The exponent is negative, so it's going to apply to both. You would get 1 to the -2nd over 4 to the -2nd. Remember, it's going to move up to the numerator. This one would move down. We end up with 16. And you would do the same thing for each one. So 16 is off my graph, but -1, 4 is not. And then I've got 0, 1, 1, 1/4, and 2, 16. So you see I start to get this look, this exponential decay. And there's a horizontal asymptote at y = 0, so you won't see this line go past there. Some applications. So for this one, we have an exponential function given to us, and it says that it models the population of this country X years after 2016. And it says, without using a calculator, find the population in 2016. So in 2016, if you want to find the population in 2016, that means that X would have to be 0. That's the initial value it wants you to find, because X is the number of years after 2016, and in 2016, that would be 0 years. So I'm going to evaluate the function at 0, meaning I'm going to put in 0 for X. Well, anything raised to the 0 power, whether it's 2 to the 0 power, 10 to the 0 power, 10,000 to the 0 power, is always 1. So we get 76.3. And that's going to be million. Then I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to now in the year 2020. Well, in the year 2020, that would be 2020 minus 2016. That would be 4 years. So I'm going to evaluate the function at 4. So pause the video and try evaluating the function at 4. Put it in the calculator and see what you get. So putting it in the calculator, I end up with 48,147 when I round to the nearest million. So I'm going to write that down here. And then the last one, you would say x is equal to 6 and get your answer.